Hey guys, sorry it's been a minute. Things have been very busy. I haven't been able to shoot any videos, although I had planned to. Anyway, let's keep that on the side. So, in case if you're seeing this video in the future, this is pretty much the middle of 2026, and you may or you may not know, or depending upon how news has changed when you're seeing this, it's been 4 years that people in Ukraine are fighting the war with Russia. You may or you may not know it because maybe it's not worthy of a news cycle, right? Like most people these days, young people may not know what caused the 2008 financial crisis. They may not also know who helped us to get out of it and what did we do, what are the steps we took so that it does not repeat. They may not also know that many of those safeguards that we put in place have been systematically taken down. In the same way, people may not remember COVID-19 or the lack of progress that we as a nation made when that hit us in the face and the steps that we could have taken to prevent a lot of deaths here in the United States, but we didn't. Again, people have forgotten, news cycles have moved on, people don't even remember who did what or who did not do what. Now, why am I going ahead and bring this up? Well, I'm bringing this up because although it's the middle of 2026, it's been 4 years that Ukraine has been fighting against the war started by Russia. And there have been casualties, lots of casualties, guys. A lot of people on both sides have died. Approximately 15,000 civilians have died, of which 3,500 children. And these are people who have died. I'm not even talking about people who have been maimed, who have lost limbs. I mean, that number is far, far higher. So why am I going ahead and, starting this video on this note? Because the razor that I am going to review today is what I would like to call a look at Ukrainians' resilience. This is the Varukh Slant razor made in the Ukraine. Before we get any further on this video, I would like to thank my friend Justin from the shaving channel Just Shaves. I will put his channel information below this video. Please check him out. He's a phenomenal reviewer. Remember, he does not do facial hair shaves, but he shaves his head. But that is where you go to see that, shaving at the end of the day is about hair removal. So Justin saw that I was doing this particular series on slant razors, and he reached out to me and he said, Siraj, have you tried the Varukh? I was like, no, I haven't. And he said, okay, let me go ahead and send that to you. And he did. This is not his razor. He sent me his razor. And I was so impressed with the razor. And then when I found out the background about this being made in the Ukraine by a team of only 2 people, I had to go ahead and get one for myself, which is what I did. So this review is going to be on the Varukh razor. And sorry if the video got a little serious or political, but I feel irrespective of who you vote for, which party you follow, there are some undeniable truths. Be kind, be good, live and let live, right? It doesn't matter who you vote for, because as long as you follow this and do the best that you can for your children and the future generations, because it matters. Now, some people might say, it's the war in Ukraine, it's far off in the world, why the hell do I care? Where have I heard that before, and what did that turn into? Or the second thing, which is very clear, sanctions don't work, guys. They just don't. Because Russia took over a part of Ukraine called as the Crimea region, I think in 2016. And They saw how the world would react. And as the world would react, oh, you know what, we'll put sanctions. Sanctions don't work, guys. Sanctions do not work. We have seen that. But to them, it was a way to test waters to see what the international community would do. And once they saw what they did, they went on in 2022 with the full-scale war. And what did the Western or civilized nations do? Well, apart from providing support for Ukraine to defend itself, it didn't do much. Maybe it would have been different if Ukraine had some oil, right? Anyway, sorry, some of these things just piss me off. If it pissed you off that I'm sharing these things, feel free to dislike the video. But before you do that, I hope you understand what I'm saying is not wrong. Sometimes the truth can be a little hard. Anyway, getting back to the focus of the video, which is the Varukh razor. Before we get into the razor specifications, let me share with you guys what we're going to be using today. So obviously it's going to be the Varukh razor. I am going to be using a brand new perma-sharp blade. For the shave soap today, we are going to be using Sterling Executive Man along with the matching splash. This is not their normal soap, this is their soap sample. Their soap samples comes with a sticker which peels off very, very cleanly. And you can pick up these small, 1 ounce or 2 ounce cans and just put the sample in it. For the brush, I am going to be using a brush that my wife helped set for me. She loves doing these arts and crafts. So this is a Boti handle with an AP Shaveco German synthetic knot. Very nice. Okay, so while I go ahead and I whip up the lather, I've already put the shave soap. As you guys know, I don't take too much of shave soap. Working with around a day and a half of growth. Let me first take you guys through the razor specifications and then let's get started with the shave. So let's go over the razor specifications. Obviously the name of the razor is Varukh. It's a helical slant razor made by Trident Razors in Ukraine. And now this specific model is based on an old Russian razor of the 1970s. So the material used is aluminum. Obviously, it comes in a wide variety of colors. In terms of price, you can pick it up here in the US from the razor company for $99. Obviously, you get free shipping. However, if you would like to directly support Trident razors in the Ukraine, you can pick it up for that same $99, but there is a $20 shipping fee. In terms of weight, it is quite lightweight, 42 grams, height is 95 millimeters. The blade gap is neutral at around 0.8 millimeters, and the blade exposure is slightly positive at 0.03 millimeters. So now that we have gone through the razor specifications, let me tell you a little bit more about this particular razor. Now this slant is called as the helical slant. That means it torques the blade a lot more than a normal slant, which is a little bit of a slant like this, but not completely like this. This will remind you of razors like the Razor Super Slant. So a couple of quirks about this razor, which I wanted to go ahead and mention right off the bat, is when you open the razor up, you'll notice that the handle seats inside this particular thing, and you are unable to switch out handles for something else because it's got this recessed thread. Okay, all right. Obviously, it's a three-piece razor: top cap, bottom cap, and the handle. Let's go ahead and load the blade. So, in terms of the blade, the very first thing that I did is obviously I've gone ahead and I've placed the blade. And for most of these, like I've shown you, all you need to do is pinch from the middle thread because it's got a torque. So pinch it from the middle thread, be careful, and hang on to the sides right here. All right. Then you will put the bottom cap on. And remember, when you've put the bottom cap on, again, you will pinch down on the sides along with the bottom cap. And given that it's already torquing the blade, it's already going to try and open both the caps up. So you need to just hang on to it a little bit tightly. Then you'll put the handle. It goes in quite a bit. And you will tighten the blade. So there you go, the blade is loaded. The end caps stick out very little, not too much, but just keep that in mind. Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly go ahead and wet the face. I am going to put the lather and let's get started with the shave. All right, let's begin the shave. Remember guys, because of the positive exposure, keep the pressure at a minimum, all right? Okay, let's begin. Now the head might seem a little large, but you're still able to go ahead and get below the nose and get the area. All right, we're done with pass number one. Now let me wash up and get ready for pass number two. All right, let's do pass number two. I've seen that this razor is exceedingly good at cutting through this really tough hair. Really good. All right, let's wash up and come back for pass 3. All right, let's do pass number 3 from south to north. So this is where my hair is really hard, and many razors I've noticed struggle in this area, and there is chatter because the hair is so hard. But because of the twisting of the blade so well, this just cuts through it like butter. All right, let's wash up and see how is it that we did and whether we need to do any touch-ups. All right, guys, we washed up. Absolute BBS on the cheeks. Pretty good over here as well. A little bit over here. And that's it. All right, let's get that done, shall we? All right. We're good. Let's wash up and put the alum and see how is it that we did. All right. Yeah, this area is a little bit ouchy. Very little. That's my typical area. Neck pretty much is fine. Nothing too much on the neck. So overall, I would say it was a phenomenal shave. All right, I'm going to wash up and then let's first get into my subjective rating of what I think this razor should be scored. And then let's talk about my final thoughts. Now, in terms of the subjective rating, let's first talk about value. Now, some people might say, hey, I can get the timeless slant razor here made of the same materials and it's made here in the US for around 75, 80 bucks. And you are absolutely right. So why is it that I'm giving it a good rating? I'm giving it a good rating because it's built in the Ukraine. With everything that's going on over there, I'm sure materials and everything will be difficult to come by. So if you keep that in mind, I think the price point is good. However, at the end of the slide, you will see that if I change that good into something lower, what does the score change to? Fit and finish, I think, was okay. I think that, the fact that you need to go ahead and have that razor handle, that you just need to stick with that and you can't change it out to something else. In terms of design, I don't think that was great. Maybe it helps to torque the blade. I am not sure. But I would have preferred having a little bit of more choice in that. Also, what I noticed when I was cleaning it, there are a couple of smudges which are a little difficult to remove. That's why okay is the rating which I'm going ahead and I'm giving. Balance is great. It is balanced very well. It's not top heavy, not bottom heavy. It's absolutely just right. It mows down hair like anything, guys. You guys saw in the video that it took down a day and a half of growth with ease, and especially in around my my chin area where my hair is extremely hard and most razors struggle. For this razor, it was a cakewalk. Aggressiveness, I didn't give it a great, I gave it a good. It feels a little bit more blade positive than the 0.03 millimeters in terms of the spec sheet. So one has to be a little careful, slightly, not too much, while using this particular razor. So the final score with these particular ratings comes to 82.5. However, if I was to change the value and bring it down a notch, the score changes to 77.5, which I still feel is a very high score. And for a slant razor, it really does its job really well. So my final thoughts about the Varukh Slant razor, I think it's a phenomenal razor, guys. If you are getting into the world of slants, don't sleep on this. I think it's made quite well. Apart from that, couple of small things that I mentioned about, right? The main thing is that the handle, you can't change it out. You pretty much need to stick to this. What I've also noticed at times is that the handle does tend to, close very, very tightly. So in case if you have some Vaseline or something, put it on the threads and it should be a little easier for you. Apart from that, the other thing is, as a daily driver, I think this might be a little bit too much for a few people. But if you shave every once in a couple of days, it would be perfect. But you can daily drive this as well. And finally, given that it's made in Ukraine and we all know what's going on over there, in case if you want to support the people, this is an excellent way to go ahead and support, small people still trying to get stuff done in Ukraine. Now you can pick this up here in the US from the razor company for $99, or for almost the same price, you can go to the Ukrainian website and directly buy from there. I think that would be better because the funds will reach them directly. I am not sure how much they are selling the razor to the razor company for, but I'm sure every dollar helps. So sorry if today's video turned out to be slightly political, but I don't want us to forget about what's happening in the world, right? And like I said at the start of the video, guys, what it matters to is live and let live, be kind to people, and treat others like you would want to be treated. It does not matter which political party you've followed for years. What matters is follow what you think is right. And again, I can't tell you what is right. But what is happening in Ukraine, at least for me, is wrong. I hope it comes to an end. I hope their suffering comes to an end. And kudos to the small little company, Varukh Slant is phenomenal. I think they might be launching one or two more razors in the future. And I'm very keen to see what they will be and how they will perform. That's about it, guys. Thank you so much for your time on this video to stick with me. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Until the next video, please take care. Bye-bye.